Addressing the issue of our high import bill, Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell notes that an entire cultural shift is what it will take to decrease the import bill in the nation and the region in the long term.
The high food import bill is not going to be a short-term fix. It is going to be a medium to long-term issue that we have to tackle, and not just here in Grenada, but regionally as well. The reality is we have to produce, there has to be an entire cultural shift. We have to actually want to become producers rather than just consumers. And that requires an entire re-education of our population, where we recognize the value of agriculture, because that's where food comes from. Where we recognize the value of fisheries, where we recognize the value of livestock, animal husbandry, etc. And that is going to take time. But it also requires a cultural shift in terms of our consumption patterns as well.
Highlighting poultry as another area accounting for a high import bill, he referenced how neighboring islands have become more self-sufficient in that area.
Chicken consumption is very high in Grenada, but it is mostly imported chicken. Again, we need to be able to support our chicken farmers, our poultry. We need to be able to put the policies in place to ensure that we produce more and more chicken and that we consume so locally. We can look at St. Lucia and we can look at Barbados as examples. It's not far-fetched. They are doing it. In fact, Barbados is almost self-sufficient in the consumption of, in producing the chicken that it consumes, and St. Lucia is steadily been increasing the level of domestic production and consumption of local chickens as well. So we need to do the same.
PM Mitchell says government on its own can't improve the food security, since most imports are done by the private sector. He added that there is a stigma attached to eating locally, something they intend to eradicate through education. During their recent attendance at the 43rd CARICOM Heads of Government Summit in Suriname, Foreign Affairs Minister Joseph Andel said food security was one of the major areas of focus.
Guyana has, through President Irfaan Ali, has undertaken the task and the challenge of becoming the breadbasket of the Caribbean. So all of the leaders have pledged to work towards achieving food and nutrition security for our respective populations in the CARICOM region.
Andel said the discussion hinted at potentials for the country, with an agreement to look into a joint venture between local Grenadian poultry producers and private Chilean entity or entities.
Chief among those, I had a very fruitful meeting with the Chilean ambassador, Ambassador Juan Pino, who is the Chilean ambassador to Guyana. In that meeting, we were able to discuss a number of matters of mutual interest, including cooperation in agriculture, transferring technology, examine the possibility of Chile providing assistance in terms of small farm machinery, assisting with new modern agricultural techniques and technology. We had a discussion on the possibility of assistance in the area of greenhouse farming, also the possibility of cooperation in the poultry industry.
Christelina John, GBN News.